Chosen one. This message is not an accident. It found you at the exact moment you were meant to receive it. You didn't stumble upon this video. Maybe you felt it too. A strange stillness in the air. A pull inside your spirit. As if heaven itself is holding its breath. Chosen one, August 1 isn't just a date on a calendar. It's a spiritual appointment. God doesn't work by chance. He works by divine alignment. And this date might be the one where everything changes for you. You've cried, you've prayed, you've waited. And even when your faith started to shake, something deep inside told you, don't give up yet. There's a reason August is the 8th month. In the spirit, 8 means new BGNNGS. New mercy. New assignments. New identity. God doesn't need a crowd. He doesn't need permission. He just needs a vessel who's ready. And chosen one, he chose you. On August 1, something may shift in your atmosphere. It might be subtle, or it might shake the ground beneath your feet. But either way, you'll know. Because your soul will recognize the sound of divine timing. Some doors may open. Others will slam shut for your protection. People may walk away, and plans may collapse. But all of it will be a setup. A setup for what's been prophesied over you before you were even born. This day may carry your confirmation. Your long-awaited clarity. Your signal to move and never look back. Listen carefully, chosen one. When God marks a day, it's not about the day itself, it's about who he marks through it. This might be the moment your enemies get confused. The moment the heavens say, "That's my child, watch me move." So prepare yourself. Stay silent where God says nothing. Move fast where he opens doors. And trust, even when your eyes don't understand. Subscribe to Chosen Core so you never miss what heaven is releasing for you. Your destiny is too important to be distracted now. This is not just another video, this is your warning, your signal, your calling. Chosen one. When God sets a time, the enemy gets nervous. Because heaven's calendar is more powerful than any plan of man. August 1 might not look like much to the world. But to the ones walking in obedience, this day could be the turning point that rewrites everything. God has seen you in secret. The nights you stayed up battling demons no one else could see. The moments you almost gave up, but didn't. That kind of perseverance doesn't go unnoticed. That kind of faith is dangerous because it pulls heaven into motion. This day may not come with lightning or thunder, but it might come with revelation. God could send one person, one opportunity, or even one dream that reveals the next chapter of your assignment. You don't need to chase it. You just need to be in position. In prayer, in stillness, in surrender. Because chosen one. Sometimes the door doesn't open when you knock. It opens when your heart is finally ready. And what if August 1 is the moment your heart aligns? Keep going. Even when it feels silent. Even when nothing seems to change on the outside. Because deep in the spirit, everything might be shifting. Heaven doesn't always announce its moves with noise. Sometimes it's a whisper only the called can hear. And if you're listening now, that means you were meant to hear it. Chosen one. August 1 isn't about luck. It's about alignment. Alignment with God's timing, God's purpose, and the version of you that's been hidden, but is now ready to rise. You've been stretched, tested, broken down so many times you started questioning if God forgot you. But the truth is, he was shaping you. There are certain doors that don't open until the vessel is purified, until the pride is gone, until the old you has been stripped away. August 1 could be the day where everything you lost starts making sense. Every delay, every betrayal, every moment you felt unseen. It was never punishment. It was preparation. Chosen one, this might be the divine moment where heaven's silence breaks. Not with noise, but with movement. The kind you feel in your spirit before you see it in your life. You might get a sudden urge to leave what's familiar. You might feel pushed to release something or someone. Don't ignore that tug. Because when heaven speaks, it rarely explains. It commands. And those who obey without needing the full picture, they're the ones God lifts in front of everyone who doubted them. This is not just another month. This is not just another message. This is a spiritual checkpoint, and many won't recognize it. But you do. Because you've been marked for this. Marked to carry a weight others can't understand. Marked to walk a path others can't survive. Marked to step into a future that was set apart long before your pain ever began. Chosen one. This is why the attacks increased lately. Why your peace felt unstable. Why confusion tried to cloud your mind right before this moment. Because the enemy senses it too. He knows something is coming for you, not against you. And his only strategy now is distraction. But you're not who you used to be. You're more aware, more disciplined. You've learned how to sit in silence without panicking. You've learned how to pray even when your heart is heavy. You've learned how to wait with expectation. August 1 could be the day God reveals why he didn't let certain things happen earlier. Why certain people left. Why you had to stand alone. He was clearing the room for what's about to enter. Because chosen one, your spirit has outgrown the environment that once sustained you. And God is not going to pour the new into the old. Your calling is too specific. Your assignment is too costly. Your time is too near. This is why you've been uncomfortable. Why things you used to tolerate suddenly became unbearable. It's because your spirit is preparing to walk through a door that won't open for who you were, only for who you're becoming. And August 1 may carry that exact shift. A shift that breaks the patterns, that separates you from cycles, that pushes you into rooms you didn't apply for, because heaven already approved you. But this will require faith. Not just belief, but movement. Faith that acts even when there's no proof. Faith that walks when there's no map. Chosen one. There's a reason God didn't give you all the details. Because if you had seen what was coming, you might have rushed the process. Or worse, settled for less. But he kept it hidden to protect you. Not just from the enemy, but from your own impatience. Every delay had a purpose. Every silence had a message. Every setback was strategy. And now, heaven is shifting something behind the scenes. You might not see it yet, but your spirit feels it, like pressure building before a breakthrough. That pressure is proof. You're standing on the edge of something holy. Something your past can't follow. Something your fear can't stop. August 1 could be the day where the first crack in the wall appears. The wall that kept you out. The wall that tried to block your purpose. The wall built by lies, doubt, and delay. But walls fall when God speaks. And chosen one, when God speaks over your life, creation responds. Opportunities start moving. People start showing up. The path starts clearing. Not because you forced it, but because you waited for his moment, not your own. And August 1 might be that moment. Chosen one. This is why your spirit feels restless. Why nothing satisfies you the way it used to. It's not depression. It's not confusion. It's awakening. You're awakening to the truth of who you are. To the assignment that's been waiting for you to mature. To the divine identity that pain couldn't kill and time couldn't erase. God has been stripping away the noise. The distractions. the people who were never meant to cross into this next season. Because chosen one, you can't take Egypt into the promised land. You can't bring old habits, old fears, or old loyalties into a destiny that demands purity, clarity, and courage. August 1 might be the day. God makes a quiet announcement in the Spirit. Not to the world, but to you. A whisper in your soul that says, it's time. Time to step forward. Time to take the risk. Time to believe again, fully, fiercely, without backup plans. This next season doesn't require your perfection. It requires your obedience. You may not feel ready, but readiness was never a requirement, willingness was. And you've proven again and again that you're willing to follow even when the road is dark, even when your hands are trembling, even when you've got nothing left but faith. Chosen one. That kind of faith, raw, tested, unshakable, is what heaven looks for when it's time to release mantles. Not titles, not applause, not worldly recognition, but mantles, divine responsibilities wrapped in fire and authority. And August 1 may be the moment heaven places something on your shoulders that generations before you weren't able to carry. This is bigger than you. This is about bloodlines. You've been chosen to break things others were too afraid to confront. Cycles of fear, patterns of poverty, chains of silence that kept your family in spiritual prison. But now, God is trusting you with the assignment. Not because you're the loudest, not because you have it all figured out, but because you didn't quit. Every time you fell, you got back up. Every time you didn't hear Him, you still waited. Every time the world gave you an exit, you stayed on the path. And now that you're standing here, on the edge of something that doesn't even have a name yet, God is saying, this is where I show them why I chose you. It may come as a whisper. It may come as a storm. But when it comes, everything will change, so don't ignore the signs. Don't explain away the inner shift. Don't silence the voice in your gut that says, get ready. Because August 1 might be the divine trigger heaven has been waiting for, chosen one. This moment will test your discernment. Because not everything that looks like a blessing is from God. And not everyone who claps for you is for you. August 1 may expose what's real, who's truly with you, and what's secretly been draining you behind the scenes. Because before God releases the next level, He clears the space. He reveals the snakes. He cuts the cords tied to your past. Don't be surprised if certain things fall apart suddenly. Don't panic if certain people go silent. That's not rejection, it's protection. God is making room. Room for divine appointments. Room for heavenly strategies. Room for the version of you that walks with authority, not apology. You've served quietly. You've sacrificed in the dark. You've wrestled with God like Jacob. And now He's ready to give you your new name. But that name only fits you in the next season. And August 1 might be when He begins to call you by it. It won't sound like the world. It won't follow the rules of logic. It'll come straight from the throne, spoken to your spirit in a way only you will understand. So be still, be sharp, be listening. Because divine instructions don't always come twice. Chosen one. When God marks a moment in time, it's not just about what He does, it's about what He reveals. And August 1 may uncover things you weren't even praying about. Hidden truths, buried gifts, delayed answers finally released, not because you asked again, but because the time finally matched your maturity. There are things God couldn't give you before, not because you didn't deserve them, but because you weren't yet ready to carry them without dropping them. But now, you're stronger. Your spirit is sharper. You've been trained in the fire, and the fire didn't consume you. It forged you. You see things now that others miss. You feel shifts before they happen. You're no longer moved by noise or shaken by delay. That's the sign of someone who's been chosen and refined. So don't be surprised if August 1 feels different. If your routine suddenly feels too small. If your environment starts to irritate your spirit. That's the stretching before the release. That's heaven telling you what's next won't fit in what's now. You're about to outgrow some things. People may misunderstand it. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. Because this time, God isn't just changing your life, He's changing you. Chosen one. This kind of transformation doesn't come easy. It comes with separation. Not because you're better than others, but because what's on your life requires isolation before elevation. God often pulls His warriors into solitude before He releases them in power. That loneliness you felt lately, that silence from people you thought would support you. It's not rejection, it's divine strategy. He needed to clear the room, so your spirit could hear Him without interference. Because when August 1 arrives, there may be a whisper that changes everything. A divine instruction that doesn't make sense to the natural mind, but unlocks supernatural doors. You have to be ready. Ready to move without hesitation. Ready to obey even if it costs you your comfort. Ready to trust God over your own logic. This next chapter isn't about comfort, it's about calling. And callings don't wait for convenience. You may feel the tension between who you were and who you're becoming. That's the birthing pain of destiny. The old version of you was built to survive. This new version is being built to reign, to lead, to carry the mantle, to walk into dark places and shift the entire atmosphere. That's why the warfare intensified. The enemy sees what you carry, but what he can't stop is a child of God aligned with divine timing. And August 1 might be the moment that alignment becomes activation, chosen one. This is why you've been feeling pressure from every side. The enemy has tried to make you question yourself, tried to wear you down, isolate you, and exhaust your faith. But he made one mistake. He let you survive. And now you're stepping into a moment where survival turns into strategy, where everything that once wounded you becomes weaponized for purpose. Your prayers have been storing in heaven like rain behind a dam. And August 1 might be when that dam breaks. Not in chaos, but in release. Release of favor. Release of revelation. Release of the next instruction that shifts your entire season. But chosen one, don't expect it to come the way you imagined. God doesn't move on our preferences. He moves on His purpose. It might come through loss, through silence, through a door closing so violently it rattles your comfort zone. But don't misinterpret the noise, because what feels like a breakdown could be the final push into breakthrough. You are no longer who you were. The old you would have crumbled under this pressure. But now you walk differently. Not with pride, but with presence. Because you've been in the fire long enough to know that God walks in it with you. And when He brings you out, you won't look like what you've been through. You'll carry a glory that only comes from endurance. Chosen one. There's a reason the warfare intensified right before August 1. Hell always fights hardest when heaven is closest. The closer you are to breakthrough, the more distractions come disguised as decisions. But listen carefully. Not every good opportunity is a God opportunity. And in this moment, obedience is your greatest weapon. God is not asking for perfection. He's asking for surrender. The kind of surrender that says, Even if I don't understand, I'll still trust you. Even if I don't see the full picture, I'll still move when you say move. Because chosen one, some doors will only open when your faith walks first. Not your plan, not your certainty, just your faith. August 1 may not be loud, but it will be strategic. A moment so subtle the untrained heart will miss it. But not you. Your spirit has been trained in the shadows. You've been refined in the silence. You don't need signs anymore. You recognize the voice, the shift in your atmosphere, the tug in your soul, the peace that doesn't make sense. That's how God will guide you now. Not always with external signs, but with internal clarity. So don't wait for the world to confirm what God already whispered. Don't wait for permission to walk into what He's already approved. This next level won't be announced with applause. It'll be marked by authority. Chosen one. Authority doesn't come from titles. It doesn't come from platforms or applause. It comes from surviving things most people would have never made it through, and still choosing to trust God afterward. That's what makes you different. That's why you've been set apart. That's why August 1 has weight in the spirit. Because God is getting ready to give public clarity to something that's been in private process for a long time. What you went through in the dark, the breakdowns, the waiting seasons, the spiritual warfare no one saw. God saw all of it. And heaven does not ignore quiet obedience. The world rewards noise. Heaven rewards faithfulness. This is why the next door won't require you to prove yourself. God is about to open something that proves He was with you all along. You won't have to explain how it happened. You won't have to defend why it's yours. Because what's coming wasn't given by people. It was spoken by God. And chosen one. When heaven speaks, no man, no devil, no system can shut it down. That's the kind of shift August 1 could carry. Not just another day. A divine unveiling of what's been hidden until now. Chosen one. This is the season where delay breaks, where cycles are shattered, where what was held back is finally released. You've cried for this. You've fasted for this. You've been obedient when no one was watching. And now heaven is watching you. August 1 isn't just a date. It could be your divine launch. A quiet shift that sets off a chain reaction in the spirit realm. And when it begins, you won't have time to prepare. You must already be ready. So clear the distractions. Guard your focus. Sharpen your discernment. Because the enemy is terrified of a believer who knows their timing. Chosen one, hear me clearly. This word was not for the crowd. It wasn't for the curious. It was for you. And if your spirit is still locked in, you're one of the few who can feel what's coming. So don't disconnect. Don't scroll past. Don't forget what your soul just heard. Subscribe to Chosen Core right now and stay connected to what God is speaking. Because in this next season, even one missed instruction could cost you what you were born for. This isn't entertainment. This is your activation. Get ready, stay ready. Move when God says move.